Modern society tells us to chase more money, more recognition, more control. But what if true strength is not in having more, but in mastering less? Stoicism argues that self-mastery, not external power, is the real path to freedom. We live in an age of constant distraction, social media, 24/7 news, endless consumerism. Yet the Stoics warned us 2,000 years ago that chasing noise blinds us to peace. So ask yourself, are we really progressing, or are we just becoming more restless? Today's culture glorifies instant success and emotional reactivity. But Stoicism challenges that belief, reminding us that calm, patience, and resilience are not weakness, but the ultimate form of power. Isn't it time we question what society calls strength? Welcome to StoicCraft, where ancient Stoic wisdom meets the chaos of modern life. Here we break through illusions, explore timeless lessons from Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius, and show you how to live with calm clarity, no matter what the world throws at you. Imagine being able to stay calm and centered in the middle of a traffic jam while facing a difficult conversation with your boss, or even when life throws a personal crisis at you. This is the quiet strength of Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that has guided people for centuries toward calmer, clearer, more fulfilling lives. Stoicism reminds us of a truth that often feels uncomfortable in modern times. The only things we can truly control are our own thoughts and actions. Everything else, the weather, the economy, other people's behavior, remains outside of our grasp. When we accept this reality, we free ourselves from the exhausting cycle of trying to control the uncontrollable. Instead of being chained to anxiety or frustration, Stoicism teaches us to redirect our energy toward what matters most, our own character, choices, and actions. By striving to live with integrity and virtue, we can build a foundation of peace and contentment that no external event can shake. This is where our journey begins. In this video, we'll explore 10 profound lessons from Stoicism, practical wisdom that can help you achieve emotional mastery and live with a calm strength, no matter what storms life sends your way. Lesson 1. Embrace what you can control. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic teachers, gave us a cornerstone idea: the dichotomy of control. Life can be divided into two realms: what we can control and what we cannot. True calm begins when we stop wasting energy on the latter and focus fully on the former. Our thoughts, our choices, our intentions, and our actions, these are within our power. The outcome of those actions, however, is not. Epictetus illustrated this through the metaphor of an archer. You can aim carefully, draw your bow with precision, and release the arrow with skill. But once the arrow leaves your hand, the result is no longer in your control. Wind, distance, or even luck will determine where it lands. This doesn't mean giving up. It means releasing unhealthy attachment to outcomes and finding peace in knowing you gave your best. In a modern world where we are bombarded with results-driven pressure, performance reviews, financial goals, social validation, the dichotomy of control is liberating. It invites us to place our identity not in results, but in the quality of effort, discipline, and intention. And in that shift, we discover serenity. Lesson 2. The power of acceptance. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor of Rome, echoed this wisdom in his meditations. Life, he wrote, is a symphony of triumphs and struggles, an endless rhythm of ups and downs. Some of these waves we can ride, but many are beyond our reach. Acceptance in Stoicism isn't passive resignation. It is the courageous act of embracing life's unpredictability with grace. It means letting go of the chains of attachment to outcomes we cannot dictate, and learning to move in harmony with the natural flow of events. Modern society often sells us the illusion of control over our careers, relationships, even aging. Yet Stoicism reminds us that resistance to the natural course of life leads only to turmoil. Acceptance, instead, is like sailing with the current rather than fighting it. It doesn't mean we stop steering. It means we steer wisely, aware of forces bigger than us. By practicing acceptance, we cultivate equanimity. We savor successes without clinging to them, and we endure hardships without despair. Acceptance allows us to stand firm when the winds of change blow, to meet both joy and sorrow with the same steady heart. Lesson 3. Practice mindfulness. Seneca, another Stoic giant, taught a principle that feels even more relevant in our restless age: mindfulness. In Stoicism, mindfulness isn't about escaping the world. It's about fully inhabiting the present moment, turning our gaze away from the weight of past regrets and the anxiety of future uncertainties. Mindfulness is the antidote to rumination. It's the quiet discipline of noticing the here and now, the taste of food, the sound of laughter, the simplicity of breath. For the Stoics, mindfulness wasn't limited to grand, dramatic moments. It extended to the ordinary. They believed that life is lived most deeply in small, fleeting details, and that peace arises when we learn to see the extraordinary in the everyday. In practicing mindfulness, we create a sanctuary inside ourselves. The storms outside may rage, but within, we anchor ourselves to the present, and in that stillness, clarity emerges. We find the courage to respond, not react, to savor, not rush, to breathe, not drown. Stoic mindfulness doesn't only live in life's grand, extraordinary moments. It also reveals itself in the small, ordinary ones. It teaches us to pay attention to life's tapestry in its entirety, from the remarkable to the mundane. When we practice this way of seeing, we loosen the grip of regret over the past and the anxiety of anticipating the future. Mindfulness becomes a bridge to the present, anchoring us in the simple, fleeting beauty of each breath, each heartbeat. It gives us a timeless sanctuary, a place where the mind can rest, where tranquility is cultivated, and where composure holds steady, even while the world swirls around us. Lesson 4. Cultivate resilience. Among the many teachings of Stoicism, resilience stands like a battle hymn. Epictetus, a philosopher who knew hardship firsthand, showed us that adversity is not a curse, it's a tool. Life, he taught, is woven with trials, and those trials are not meant to crush us, but to refine us. To the Stoic, challenges aren't enemies to be avoided, they are chisels that sculpt our character. Resilience means choosing to stand like the oak tree in a storm firm, rooted, unyielding even when the winds rage. Stoicism reminds us that it is not the events themselves that cause suffering, but the lens through which we interpret them. One person's misfortune may be another person's training ground. To the resilient, every obstacle is a teacher. Modern Life constantly throws new storms at us: job insecurity, financial strain, family conflicts, health scares. But the Stoic mindset turns these storms into opportunities for growth. Every hardship becomes a crucible, tempering our strength like steel forged in fire. This is why resilience is not passive endurance, it is active transformation. It is seeing adversity not as punishment, but as preparation. Lesson 5. Choose your response. Another timeless teaching of Epictetus is that while the world outside may spin beyond our control, the helm of our response is firmly in our own hands. Life may send chaos, unfairness, or insult, but how we respond is our sacred choice. The Stoics called this sovereignty of response, one of the greatest powers a person can wield. In every moment we have the freedom to align ourselves with the virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. And in doing so, we become untouchable in our inner world, no matter what shakes the outer one. Think of the daily frustrations we face: an angry colleague, a delayed flight, an unexpected bill. Our first instinct may be to react impulsively, but Stoicism calls us to pause, to remember. Reaction is optional. We can choose composure instead of rage, perspective instead of despair, courage instead of fear. This act of conscious response is like painting carefully on the canvas of life. Each choice is a brushstroke. Each reaction either distorts the picture or refines it. By choosing responses rooted in virtue, we create a masterpiece of inner strength, one that no storm can erase. Lesson 6. Limit excessive desires. Seneca, another great Stoic, warned us against the endless hunger of desire. He knew that unchecked longing for wealth, status, possessions leads not to happiness but to turmoil. When we want too much, life becomes a restless chase, a race without a finish line. At the core of Stoicism lies the belief that simplicity is the key to peace. The more we demand, the more fragile our peace becomes. But when we learn to moderate our desires, we find freedom. Contentment grows not from accumulation, but from appreciation. This doesn't mean rejecting all pleasure or ambition. It means drawing a clear boundary between what we want and what we need. It means asking ourselves, does this desire add virtue to my life, or does it simply add noise? In a world obsessed with more money, more recognition, more possessions, the Stoic path of moderation is radical. It is the quiet revolution that says, enough is enough. By simplifying what we seek, we uncover a steady joy that doesn't collapse when circumstances shift. We stop chasing the illusion that one more purchase, one more title, one more victory will finally make us whole. Instead, we discover that wholeness was always within reach. In a life guided by virtue and anchored by wisdom, the Stoics believe that true freedom is not found in chasing every new desire, but in mastering them. Seneca reminds us that the endless pursuit of wealth, recognition, or status is like chasing a mirage in the desert. It looks dazzling from a distance, but up close it disappears, leaving us thirstier than before. By limiting excessive desires, we unearth the real treasures of life: contentment, tranquility, and the ability to stand calm regardless of fortune's shifting winds. This discipline doesn't shrink our lives, it expands them, creating space for inner calm and deeper meaning. Lesson 7. Be virtuous. At the very heart of Stoicism lies one simple but demanding truth. A good life is a virtuous life. Wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These four virtues are the compass that guided Epictetus, Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and countless others who sought inner peace. Wisdom teaches us to see the world as it really is, not as our fears or desires distort it. It's the foundation of all other virtues, helping us distinguish what is fleeting from what is lasting. Courage then calls us to act on that wisdom. It doesn't mean being fearless. It means choosing to do what is right, even when fear is screaming in our ears. Justice extends beyond personal gain, reminding us that we live as part of a community. Our choices ripple outward, shaping not just our lives but the lives of those around us. And temperance teaches us balance, the strength to say no when excess tempts us, and the humility to take only what is truly necessary. To live virtuously is not to live without struggle, but to live with integrity. For the Stoics, these virtues weren't lofty ideals, they were daily practices, the scaffolding on which a steady, calm life is built. Lesson 8. Understand the transitory nature of life. Marcus Aurelius, writing in the solitude of his tent, on battlefields, returned again and again to a single truth. Everything is transient. Life is a river in constant motion. The people we love, the possessions we prize, even our own bodies, all will eventually pass. To resist this truth is to invite endless suffering. But acceptance of impermanence is not despair, it is freedom. When we accept that everything changes, we no longer cling desperately to what cannot stay. Instead, we learn to cherish what we have while it is here and release it with grace when it goes. This awareness is deeply practical in today's world. Careers shift, relationships end, health falters. The Stoic does not deny the pain of these changes, but they do not allow it to define them. They know that peace lies not in permanence, but in resilience. Like stars shining steadily behind drifting clouds, our inner calm remains even as life's circumstances come and go. Lesson 9. The value of gratitude. If there is a golden thread woven through Stoic philosophy, it is gratitude. Seneca wrote that gratitude is not about the abundance of possessions, but about the ability to recognize blessings in every form. Gratitude anchors us when life is stormy, reminding us of what still remains rather than obsessing over what has been lost. Modern culture often pushes youth toward dissatisfaction, always chasing the next upgrade, the next milestone. But Stoicism invites us to pause and take inventory of what we already have: health, friendship, a moment of peace, even the breath that keeps us alive. Gratitude doesn't deny hardship, it transforms it, showing us that even pain carries lessons worth. Honoring by practicing gratitude, we shift our perspective from scarcity to abundance. It allows us to see that life, even with its struggles, still offers shelter, beauty, and meaning. And with that shift, we carry a calm strength that nothing external can easily shake. Gratitude recalibrates how we see the world. It allows us to notice the splendor in the ordinary, the lessons hidden in adversity, and the preciousness of each fleeting moment. Seneca reminds us that the treasures of life are not commodities to be acquired, but experiences to be cherished. Gratitude becomes the guardian of our inner calm, transmuting despair into contentment, fear into serenity. When we cultivate a grateful heart, even hardship becomes a teacher. The Stoic spirit, rooted in gratitude, does not collapse under pressure. It flourishes, drawing strength from every blessing, no matter how small. To practice gratitude, then, is not just to respond to moments of joy, but to embrace life in its entirety, the bitter and the sweet, the easy and the difficult. Each breath, each heartbeat, and every passing second is an opportunity to uncover hidden treasures. Seneca's enduring wisdom calls us to savor the present, not in spite of challenges, but because of them. And it is here, in gratitude, that we discover a calm that no storm can shake. Lesson 10. Keep learning and growing. Stoicism closes its circle of wisdom with a lesson that never ends: the commitment to lifelong growth. Epictetus, born a slave and transformed into a teacher of kings, embodied this truth. He taught that inner calm is not a destination but a process, an ongoing journey of self-refinement. At the heart of Stoicism lies the belief that we are not static beings but vessels of untapped potential, always capable of becoming more. Life as a voyage without a final harbor. The commitment to learning and self-improvement keeps us resilient, sharp, and humble. It reminds us that wisdom is not a prize to be won, but a companion to be cultivated daily. In practice, this means treating each experience, whether triumph or failure, as material for growth. Adversity is not an interruption to the journey. It is part of the curriculum. Every setback is a stepping stone. Every trial is a teacher. The Stoic doesn't seek a life free of challenges. They seek to become stronger because of them. Modern life can tempt us into complacency, comfortable jobs, routines, or even the illusion that we already know enough. But Stoicism calls us to resist stagnation. True tranquility comes not from standing still, but from steady, purposeful progress. The goal is not perfection, but evolution. To live as a Stoic is to remain a student of life forever, to keep reading, reflecting, questioning, and refining. This pursuit of growth transforms storms into lessons, pain into resilience, and uncertainty into wisdom. It lights the path ahead like a steady flame, guiding us through the labyrinth of existence. In this way, lifelong learning is more than self-improvement, it is self-liberation. It frees us from the fear of change, from the paralysis of failure, from the arrogance of thinking we've arrived. Growth itself becomes the anchor of our calm. It is the timeless promise of Stoicism. No matter what happens around us, we remain the masters of our inner world. The more we learn, the more we grow, and with growth comes a deeper resilience, the ability to face life's storms without being carried away by them. Epictetus's voice echoes through history, reminding us not to dread the challenges of life, but to celebrate the journey of self-improvement, to revel in learning, to honor the effort of growth itself. Each step forward, each lesson absorbed, brings us closer to the essence of Stoicism, a life anchored in calm, guided by wisdom, and lived with steady composure. In a world constantly pulling us into distraction and uncertainty, Stoicism offers not abstract philosophy, but a practical guide, a compass for everyday living. By embracing these 10 lessons drawn from the wisdom of Epictetus, Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and others, we gain tools to navigate modern life with clarity and strength. Temperance becomes our anchor, keeping us steady when emotions surge. Wisdom becomes our light, illuminating the path, when life feels dark. Courage and justice shape our choices, ensuring we act not just for ourselves but with integrity toward others. When we live this way, storms lose their power. Adversity no longer feels like an enemy but a teacher. We discover that tranquility isn't about avoiding hardship. It's about building an inner stillness so strong that nothing outside can shatter it. Stoicism's enduring wisdom reminds us, peace doesn't come from controlling the world. It comes from mastering ourselves. And when we live this truth, we thrive not by escaping life's challenges, but by rising through them with calm strength and unwavering composure. If these lessons spoke to you, share your perspective. Which of the 10 Stoic lessons do you feel is the hardest to practice in today's world? Or continue your journey with our playlist on Stoic lessons for inner calm, because wisdom is only powerful when you live it.